Please select a mission.
Boss, this contract comes from the Mbeli rebel militants. That's right. That general's fighters. Recently, one of their child soldier platoons staged an insurrection and split from the main group. Thing is, they took a hostage with them. The general's brother, his number 2. The contract is to extract both that prisoner and the leader of the renegade platoon. The message reads, "I love my brother. You must bring him back to me alive." It also says this about the leader of the child soldiers. He is an excellent soldier. I want to persuade him to rejoin the ranks of the righteous. Sounds a little too forgiving for the man who ordered those kids dead at the mine. I wonder what kind of persuasion the general has in store. With that in mind, here are your objectives. First, rescue and return the general's number 2 as requested. Second, extract the renegade leader, and we'll keep him at Mother Base. In other words, extract both targets out of the region. Good luck, boss.
Mission accepted. Heading to Central Africa. Deploying.
Your mission objectives are to extract the child soldier's commander and their captive, the general's number 2. This child soldier platoon decided to break away from the Mbeli militants. They took the number 2 captive and have occupied an abandoned village. Start by checking that location on your map. Boss, the child soldiers will treat you as an enemy, but they're just kids. See that they don't get hurt. Be careful down there, boss. Reconnaissance is best conducted from high vantage points. I've marked a good spot on your map. Take a look at your iDroid.
The map has been updated. clouds approach. Enemy presence detected. The map has been updated. Enemy presence detected. The map has been updated. The map has been
Extract
updated.
him.
You have arrived at your destination. Enemy presence detected. The map has been updated. Enemy presence detected. The map has been updated.
Group of child soldiers. No, must be a squad they had out on patrol.
The
Okay,
map
that's
has
the
been
general's
updated.
brother. His number
Enemy
2.
presence
Get him out of
detected.
there, boss.
The map has been updated.
Boss, another child soldier has entered the village. Must have been out on patrol. Looks like they had more than one patrol out. Security will be tighter now. Watch yourself.
Enemy presence detected. The map has been updated.
Don't hurt any of those kids. Disengage, or use your tranquilizer pistol or CQC to put him down gently.
Enemy presence detected. The map has been updated. Enemy presence detected. The map has been updated. The support helicopter
Roger.
requested.
This is B-Quad. Arriving shortly at LZ. This is B-Quad. On station at LZ.
All that's left is to extract the commander.
Support helicopter has arrived. Extraction arrived at Mother Base.
Okay, subject is in.
Enemy presence detected. The map has been updated. Please select a landing zone. Sun will set shortly. Please select a landing zone. Support helicopter
Roger.
requested. Development complete.
This is Pequod. Arriving shortly at LZ. This is Pequod. Have arrived at LZ. Will stand by.
Support helicopter has arrived.
All right, you're out of the hot zone. No enemy
Exfiltrated hot
forces in
zone.
pursuit.
Mission
Mission complete.
Heading out. Departing.
Extraction
coming too.
arrived at
Roger that.
motorbase. Development project has been added.
Mission complete. Great work. Boss, about how we report this one to the client. I'll tell them we took heavy resistance from the renegade platoon and the hostage was killed in the firefight. Also, their leader wouldn't let himself be taken alive. I doubt the client will pay us for this one, but we got a big enough reward from the General's #2 instead. And as for the #2, he's saying he wants to join Diamond Dogs. I guess he knows what that means for him. He said, if I'm working for you, I can be #2 or #200 for all I care. Boss, we have an emergency. Many of our staff are falling ill. At first it seemed like a common cold, but before we knew it, blisters started popping up on their chests and... Damn it. I'll fill you in at the ACC. Just get in the chopper.
Mission
Look
list
closely.
updated.
Those are the symptoms of the infection on Mother Base. The blisters on the body were full of tiny worms. Parasite larvae, most likely. But we couldn't find any adults. It doesn't seem to mature in the body, like a sparganum. We don't know the root of infection, or what causes symptoms to develop.
Boss, do you remember seeing these symptoms before? The bodies floating around in the oil facility, the bedridden test subjects at the Devil's House. This epidemic looks just like what we've seen on our hunt for Cypher.
So this is the weapon of mass destruction Cypher was working on in Africa.
Boss, the situation is urgent. We need to quarantine the infected and contain the pathogen. Priority now is to prevent more casualties. But the problem is, how do we tell who's infected? During the
Please
incubation
select a
period, we
mission.
have no way of knowing who's clean. You'll have to try and guess who's infected before they
Development
go
project
symptomatic
has
and
been
quarantine
added.
them. It'd be easy if we just knew the route or vector of the infection.
Please
From
specify
now
a
on, if you even
project.
suspect a staff member's infected, use your iDroid to order them into quarantine. Given the situation, the men won't submit to quarantine just because I or the medical team tell them to. But they will listen to you. Of course, it's just a temporary measure until we find a permanent solution. But at least they'd be in solitary isolation so they won't infect each other, and we get the mental care they need. If we do nothing, we'll only lose more people. We have no choice. Boss, open your iDroid. I'll explain how to quarantine staff members suspected of infection. Go to the Mother Base menu and select Staff Management. First, take a look at the quarantine facility we've set up. We'll isolate anyone who's already symptomatic at the quarantine facility. But we have to expect that there are multiple staff who are infected, but asymptomatic. So how do we identify them? At present, we have no way to tell them apart. But there has to be something for us to go on. If you notice anything, reassign staff you suspect are infected to the quarantine facility. We'll monitor them and then contact you if there's a change in their condition. Correctly quarantining these asymptomatic infected will reduce the number of new infections. You should continue with your missions as usual. If Cypher is behind this, going after them should help us determine the root cause of this epidemic. Also, until we identify the pathogen, we can't fire or dispatch any staff. We cannot let this thing spread. Boss, get to the bottom of this fast. We're counting on you.
Please select a mission.
Boss, a new job's come in. It's a hit. I'm the human trafficker who sent Shabani and the others to Nzoya Badiabulu, where you ran into Skullface. The thing is, this guy might know something about the disease that's going around Mother Base. The symptoms are similar to the ones we saw at that factory. Start by checking the mission details on your iDroid.
Boss, there's a target on the run somewhere on the savanna. Your job is to find and eliminate him. He's a logistics officer for the PF known as Rogue Coyote. On the side, however, he colluded with the Buta regime, abducting people from Mbele villages and supplying them as slave labor. That's right. He's a human trafficker. His victims ended up all over the place. Brothels, black market, organ trade, diamond mines. And he was the one who sent Shabani and the other kids to the Devil's House. But then an Mbele rebel group finally added him to their hit list. The target decided it was time to quit, and now he's trying to leave the country. If he makes it back to his country, he'll be no more than a civilian, and he'll avoid facing a court-martial, like so many other war biz junkies. I'll bet he plans on enjoying a new live finance with his blood money. The client's order is to take him out. How you go about that is up to you, boss.
Mission accepted.
ATF logistics officer who works as a human trafficker on the side. The client wants him dead. He's currently on the run somewhere on the savanna with bodyguards. Unfortunately, we don't know what route they're taking. All we have to go on is a coded transmission sent by the BF at the Tati abandoned village. It appears to be a workup of the target's security plans, but to decipher it, we'll need an intel file with the encryption key. This key should be at the comms facility at the Tati abandoned village. Check your iDroid to see what the target looks like, as well as the location of the village. Find a route. Find the man.
The map has been updated.
Be careful down there, boss.
Please select a deployment point. Enemy presence detected. The map has been updated. Buddy has infiltrated. The map has been updated. Caution, rain approaching. Please select a deployment point. Buddy
Target
has
is on the move
infiltrated.
somewhere on the
The map
savanna.
has been
Problem
updated.
is, we don't know what route he's taking. It's too big a search area to cover without more information. If you could find that intel file, it could give you a lead on him.
Analysis complete. Enemy presence detected. The map has been updated. Enemy presence detected. The map has been updated. Analysis complete.
You gotta extract him.
Analysis complete.
That's the
Analysis
target.
complete.
Eliminate him, however you
Analysis
see
complete.
fit.
The map has been updated.
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us. Target extracted. He's coming too. Roger that.
Please select mission info.
Roger.
Support helicopter requested. Please specify a project.
This is B-Quad. Arriving shortly at LZ. This is B-Quad. On station at LZ. Gaining altitude. Departing.
Extraction arrived at Mother Base.
Amazing. Mission complete. That right there is why you're the best, boss. The one and only.
Our trafficker was very talkative. Guinea pigs. That's what became of his kidnapped victims. Says he got a good look at that factory at Zoya-Badiabulu when he dropped off some fresh guinea pigs for them, along with our man without a face. His instincts told him to run like the rat he is. Said it wasn't worth the money. Figured he could be next. That's when he went to the NGO for help. He thought that in exchange for his buyer's list, they could set him up with a new identity someplace far away. He had an idea who he was up against, and he didn't want to take any chances. A true rat. But like us dogs, he knew when he smelled trouble. And something else. He said the specimens come from deep in the forest. We don't know what he meant by specimens just yet, but those guinea pig symptoms match what we've seen on the infected at Mother Base. Deep in the forest. Maybe there's the clue we need to beat this infection. Boss, the truth could be right around the corner.
Side ops list
Boss,
updated.
we finally heard from one of our
Mission
missing
list
intel team
updated.
members. He says he has a solid lead on the epidemic at Mother Base. Take a look at the mission details ASAP.
Remember before, boss? When Quiet attacked one of our guys on Mother Base, stuck a knife in his mouth. He's one of the very few soldiers who've had contact with her recently. Close contact. I don't think it's a coincidence that he was among those who became symptomatic pretty early on in this epidemic. Saliva and blood spatter, an open wound, mucosal infection. Whatever is causing this got inside him then.
Miller, that is a baseless accusation.
The source of the infection is Quiet. Everyone suspects her.
We don't know that. And we've come across these symptoms before. The bodies in the water at the oil field facility. Those sick people in the beds at the Devil's House. They're identical to what we've seen while we've been after Cypher. The infection could have come from elsewhere. But at the very least, she does know something.
It's not like she's gonna talk.
No, not through words anyway. But what about her actions? Quiet held a knife to that soldier back then, before he became symptomatic. There must have been a reason for that.
A reason for shoving a knife down the throat of one of our men.
What if she's capable of identifying who's infected? What if she was trying to stop the infection but couldn't communicate that to us? The answer to that, the source of the infection, might be in the mouths of the infected.
You think there's some kind of clue in their mouths?
I don't know. But maybe there's something about the mouths of those who become symptomatic, something in common.
Something their mouths have in common. Forget it. We can't trust her. Even if she can spot the infected, I don't want her help.
I understand how you feel. But this is something to go on.
Can't you see it's just like I said? Bringing her here was a big mistake. Quiet is gonna be the end of us.
Stand down. You've got zero proof. Try to keep an open mind on this, boss. There has to be a way to identify who's infected.